What's up everyone, today we're going to take a look at the Marvel Legends Skrull Soldier Army Builder, or Skrulls are also known as Infiltrators, as you can see over here on the front of the box. Before we unbox them, let's have a quick look at the whole box. At the top we see the Marvel logo, and as with the typical army builders, we see artwork in red and black. The artwork wraps around the white box. On the right side you see more of the Skrulls as well as the plastic-free packaging notice from Hasbro, and onto the other side there's even more Skrulls over here, carrying a big blaster rifle as well as the Pulse logo down the bottom. Onto the back of the box is just product information in various languages, clearly indicating an action figure with 3 accessories. So let's go ahead and unbox the Skrull Infiltrator. And on the paper bag we have the Skrull figure. He comes with one interchangeable hit, as well as a big blaster rifle and a small pistol. First up we have the pistol. It is cast in the grey plastic. There's a hit of purple paint for the detail on both sides of the gun. There's a bulky round shape down the barrel, and it looks kinda like a hairdryer. There's other interesting detail, like a couple of ribs down the barrel, as well as a circular sort of dial down the back of the gun. The Skrull figure has 2 trigger hands, so of course he can hold the pistol in either one of those hands, looking pretty good with that space gun. The pistol also looks great in other characters like Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four Retro Wave. He does come with a right trigger hand as well, so the pistol fits in there just fine. Looks really cool, just like a gun that he invented from his lab. And of course, since the pistol looks like a hairdryer, you can always have Reed helping Sue out with her curls. Next up, he also comes with a big futuristic looking rifle. It is cast entirely in the grey plastic. Nice detail for the grip down the front of the barrel. There's also a pistol grip with a guard over here. Some more tech detail down the top, as well as a couple of ribs down the back of the butt. The details are also present on the other side of the rifle. The Skrull holds the rifle just fine in his hand. He also holds the rifle just great with 2 hands. And since he has 2 trigger hands, you can even have him dual wielding both weapons if you want. And since the rifle comes with a fair bit of tech detail, it would go really well with futuristic characters like Cable over here. I think this rifle really complements the arsenal that came with this figure. And now let's take a look at the head sculpts. They are cast in the green plastic for the familiar skin tone of the Skrulls, and that head sculpt is topped off with the navy blue plastic for the cap on top of his head. The default head sculpt has a neutral, determined expression, while the alternate has a mean sneer on it. There are paint applications for the eyes, as well as the teeth on the alternate head. The paint is digitally applied with clear shades of yellow, blue, and black for his eyes, and the whites for his teeth. With the digital printing technique, everything appears really clean and well executed. There's also a good bit of texture on the face sculpts, with the wrinkles on the foreheads, as well as the lines down the front of their chins, just like Thanos. Down to the sides of their heads, there's a well-defined sculpt for those pointy green ears, clear details for the shape and structures of the ears. The alternate head sculpt pops on just fine, so that's great for display options. And overall, I'm really happy with how both head sculpts are executed. The accessories for an army builder feels adequate, but I definitely would have welcomed some interchangeable fists or relaxed hands for this figure. In terms of overall sculpt, he's mostly reuse of the Sunfire body that we've seen on a couple of characters like Human Torch. Probably the new parts are his trigger hands, as well as of course his head sculpt. I don't mind the use of this body because the proportions are generally quite well done, and I do like the extra range of articulation in the butterfly joints on the shoulders. Zooming into the details on his body, most of it is cast in a purple plastic. There's a very dark navy paint applications for that collar piece, and it's got a typical Skrull outfit with those spiky details for the collar piece. However, those spiky details are absent on the sides when it comes to the shoulders. You can have a look at the reference material on the internet or the artwork over here on the box. So the loss of that detail is a little disappointing. There's diesel muscle sculpting detail down the rest of the body. On his arms, they're also cast in a purple plastic, the dark navy paint applied over here for the gloves, while his hands are cast in the dark navy plastic as well. The color matching between the paint and the plastic on the hands is pretty well done. And moving down to the back, there's still a peg hole on the middle of his back. The same spiked detail on that collar piece also is applied down the middle of the back, but once again also absent once you get to the back of the shoulders. His crotch piece is cast in a dark navy plastic as well, and then we see more of the same purple plastic down his legs. Now because he has a cut joint just above his boot, the boots are just cast in a dark navy plastic. So overall, the mixed use of plastics and minimal paint applications results in a really clean and well done figure. It could have maybe used a little bit of shading. That would have been really awesome, but I don't think it's necessary for an army builder. Now onto articulation. His head is on a ball hinge, so you get to spin his head 360. There's also some sideways tilt. He gets to look down that far as well as up quite a good bit. He's got a butterfly joints at his shoulders, so you get to pull his shoulders way back quite a bit. And there's also quite decent forward range. Definitely a highlight of using this buck. There's a swivel hinge at the shoulders, so his arms go 360 as well as coming out pretty far. Swivel at the bicep, so it spins 360 as well. Double jointed elbows that get you just past 90 degrees. That's kind of hindered by that muscle sculpting. Swivel hinge at the wrist, so they spin 360 as well as articulating in as well as out. Not a big deal, but maybe one of these hands should have been articulated up as well as down, since these are trigger hands. We have a mid-torso ab crunch, so that's good range forward as well as good range backwards. He has a waist swivel, so he spins 360. Ball jointed hips, almost a full split going outwards. And there's also pretty good range forward and backward. I just gotta mention those hip ball joints are just a little gummy, and that's something that we've been seeing on Marvel Legends lately. There's an upper thigh swivel, so you can spin it 360. Double joints at the knees, very good range. Swivel just above the boot, so you can swivel his calf 360. Ankle tilt upwards that far as well as downwards. And finally ankle pivot outwards as well as inwards. And since the Skrull soldier doesn't come with swappable hand options, I thought I'd just point out a couple of other action figures that you could have hand swaps with. On the left over here we have the retro Black Panther, and on the right we have the House of X Professor Xavier. The colors of the hands are a close match. This is what he looks like with Black Panther's fists popped on, and I think they're a good enough match in terms of color as well as size. And since they're shapeshifters, you can also have them posed with Black Panther's clawed hands. And the more relaxed hands from Professor X also pop on just fine. And if you want to add more variation to the poses, you can also pop on Professor X pointing hands, and this is what he looks like. So there are definitely a couple of playability options once you mix in those hands from other action figures. And since they're infiltrators and shapeshifters, it's great that the figure comes with extra head options that you can always swap onto other bodies. Here he is with the head popped onto the Black Panther body. The head's a good fit on Captain America, but looks a little small and sits a bit low on Iron Man. And it works great on Spider-Man as well. But in case you're wondering, it doesn't go so well with the standard Marvel Legends slim female body. And if you wanted to, you could also have them infiltrate other armies like S.H.I.E.L.D., penetrating the Hydra ranks, and even snooping around at AIM. Size-wise, the Skrull stands at just about 6¼ inches or just under 16 centimeters. Here he is with previously released Super Skrull figures. I like that you can actually mix him up with the powered down Super Skrull figures and kind of have them like Skrull brutes. So you can have different sized Skrulls in an army. And here he is with Captain America and Iron Man, Black Panther, Black Widow, and Spider-Man. With the Fantastic Four, he's definitely dwarfed by Thanos. And here he is with a couple of other army builders. And here are the army builders from the G.I. Joe Classified series, as well as the Star Wars Black series. I really enjoyed filming this review, and this Skrull is definitely my favorite army builder at the moment. He could have used some interchangeable hands, but the included weapons have great sculpts, the head sculpts are executed close to perfection, and the playability in swapping the heads among the Marvel heroes is just super fun. I'd highly recommend you to pick up multiples of these when you can. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more toy reviews. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.